Okay, welcome to Doggo Plays with another video, this time about World of Tanks Blitz. And in today's video we are going to explain about a full introduction and explanation to KV-4, the Tier 8 heavy tank and the nation is USSR. Okay, let's start off with the main characteristics which you can see on World of Tanks Blitz. Okay, the survivability is 1750 hit points. The main armor has 180 millimeters thickness, 200 on the hull, the front. The sides 130 on the turret, 150 on the side hull. The rear turret is 130. And obviously the weakest is the rear hull, the back of the tank here, which it is 90 millimeters thickness. The view range is 230. There. The damage per minute is 1998, which is good for a heavy tank. As you can see, without researching any of the models, it does 220 damage, which is good. 9.61 reload seconds, so you should stay with allies because light tanks will rush you, and as we see later, we see the turret turn speed degrees per second. The penetration is 160 millimeters on normal armor piercing and 219 on armor piercing composite rigid, and high explosive is 54, very low obviously as suspected. Average damage per shot for armor piercing is 320, 270 for APCR. High explosive is 400. Aiming time 7.4 seconds. If you get the IS-4, which is a couple of tiers away, 2 tiers, it will be decreased to about 5.5 seconds or less. And the dispersion is 0.431, and as you get progress to the tiers, the dispersion will decrease. Okay, moving on to maneuverability. The top speed is 30 kilometers. The IS-7 has 50, one of the fastest heavy tanks for its armor as well. Reverse is 11, so I suggest not being in the open, otherwise you will hit by an array of bullets. The average speed 16 kilometers, okay. Turret rate is 20. It's okay. As I said, now we reach the hull turn rate, which is quite good for a heavy tank, but still it will be bombarded by light tanks. And if you're facing the side with your tank destroyer, the tank destroyer aiming time is much quicker than you turning your hull and getting back into frontal position. And the rest of the engine power and terrain crossing capacity. As you can see, the main stats: 1950, damage 320, rate of fire 6.2, penetration 167, armor 180, speed per kilometer per hour 60, rotation 15.6. And we see the tank over here. And I'd say the weak spots are on the turret, the hatch on the turret or the cupola, and the lower plate is weak, apart from the tilted upper plate. And where you see that port head, that's where the weak spot is. It's rectangular, so you better get behind a good hill or uneven territory. And the sides of the hull is weak, obviously, and the back is extremely weak. Unless it's tier 7, you won't be able to bend the sides enough. And the turret is your tier 7, you literally cannot bend it. And we see here the tier 9 research engine and the tier 7 gun. The damage increases to 400, rate of fire decreases. We see the tier 8 gun, then we see the tier 9 gun. The damage doesn't increase, but rotation decreases sadly, but penetration increases a lot. Then you go to the ST/ST KV-4/1-1. And in another video, I will explain about this tank. This tank is one of the hardest tanks to grind to, but the end result is the IS-4, which is very, very worth it. And now, this is not the end of the video. Please, if you're watching, thank you for watching. But now we will move on to an explanation of armor thickness, and I will demonstrate that through this. And okay, now as you can see, I'm going to type up KV-4. Sorry for the inconvenience. Type this up. Okay, sorry for the time, but you can see here the KV-4. Brilliant, but it's enough. Okay, put this in full screen so you can see all of this. Okay, and this is the normal tank. I'll show over here. Let me zoom out. Okay, there's the tank. There's the front. There's the tank right here. Tier 8 KV-4. Exactly the what Blitz think. Okay, now we're going to demonstrate if you are finding Tier 8 tank destroyer, and let me compare it. Okay, let me compare this now. 1 second, sorry for that ad. Okay, this is not working. Sorry guys. Okay, now we are ready. We're going to show the weak spots of penetration on the KV-4. If a tier 7 was penetrating this, the only weak spot would be the sides. You can see the thickness on a tier 7. This is a light VK 32.02, but we don't need that. I'm going to change this to tier 8. Let's say one tank in the tank destroyer tech tree. For example, let's choose a tech tree tank. Let's choose a tank. Okay, let's choose the Ferdinand tier 8 tank destroyer. It's German. We can see if the tank does use armor piercing, it can easily penetrate. As I told you, it's a rectangular armor plate, so it's technically useless. Only the sides of the cupola is weak, is strong. If you're looking at it from below, if the cave's on a hill, it's going to get covered from this plate, as I said, because it's tilted. And here is very weak. Only on the sides you see the track is too weak and the turret is too weak. If you're shooting from an angle, let's say the side, if you're trying to side scrape, only the bottom is still here, because depends on the penetration, it might penetrate. And now we turn it, we see the rear. Obviously this is weak, apart from the tracks, a little bit of thickness, but still penetrated. And if you're looking from above, it's like butter. And that's it for the Ferdinand. Now let's choose a tank with less penetration. Now let me go back to what Blitz. Let's find a tank with low penetration. For example, the T-28 prototype has okay penetration. Okay, let's choose the... Sorry, wait 1 second. Okay, let's choose the AMX. Let's just choose a tank. Okay. Okay, let's go to 8, everyone. Let's choose. Let's choose that SC101. And also now we see the USSR Tier 8 SC101. And this is the penetration. It's similar, very similar, only the thickness on this plate is a little bit higher. And the front is obviously weak. Apart from this plate, the penetration increases, but as you go lower, it decreases. And the sides, from this point of view, is very strong, but obviously this is weak. Technically, the KV-4 isn't that strong. And just one more thing before we end the video, I'm going to use a Tier 8 German tech tree. I'm going to use the VK101P. And look at this. Using armor piercing, the thickness too thick for the SC101 to penetrate, and it cannot penetrate this tank at all. Only the cupola and the lower plate is penetrable, and even on the sides, still a little bit of thickness here, and on the rear, of course, only a little bit. If you're unlucky, it's gonna hit. There could be chances of fire around here. The fuel, the gas engine is on the right side and the left, so if you wanna get a chance of engine fire, then shoot to the left or right. And as we see, the sides decreasing apart from the front. And if we change the gun to heat, it's easily penetrated apart from the sides, which increased to 501 thickness. And now we're going to use HE, and you just can't penetrate that at all. Only the sides, you get 30 to 162 damage, and even the back you can't HE apart from the turret and the cupola is where you can get the most damage. And these if you're from a height. Okay, and now let's use one more example, a different heavy tank this time. Tier 8. We use the a different USSR tank this time. We used the IS-3. Okay, not HE. You can still penetrate it though. That you use AP. This, I say the KV-4 armor is weaker because the turret, even though the turret is really strong, the IS-3 turret is too strong, but only the cupola or the commander's hatches. And now let's revert back to the KV-4. The KV-4 only has this bit as armor. It's just butter, apart from this bit, which is a little bit thick as you move down. Okay, everyone, thank you for watching. And this is going to be the end of the video for the KV-4 full explanation. So I recommend not getting this tank unless you know how to side scrape a lot, and you know how to survive in a battle against a tank destroyer. But one more thing before we finish, I'll just get this up quickly, and we'll use not a Tier 8, we'll use a medium tank, and we'll use the Centaur, we'll use the FV-42, we'll use the Chimera, actually, not that, we'll use the T-69, and it cannot penetrate it, see, it cannot penetrate it, apart from the bottom, as a medium tank. And let's move to a light tank really quickly. The M41, the T92, we used the Battalion 12T. it cannot penetrate it. Even this is going to be thick, only the sides it can easily penetrate. And even though the armor is too strong for this side scraping position, only this is. But if you turn the turret, it's going to expose this side, but I don't think that can be penetrated anyway. It's just too strong, the armor. The thickness here is just really strong. And let's check the VK really quickly. Probably can't even penetrate at all. Look at the thickness on the... It's here really thick. Even if you use HE 999, APCR will do a lot of damage to here. But still, it still won't penetrate the cupola. Only from above you can just penetrate everything. Okay everyone, thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And in my opinion, the KV-4 is okay. It's not that great. Only if you're fighting a light tank and medium tank, the KV-4 will survive. And if you're in a side scraping position, it's good. But if you're on the open, then no. In the next video, I will do a full explanation about the SD-1, the tier 9 tank. Or I will do an explanation about the German Tiger 2. And please stay tuned for the next video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching for this long. Please subscribe as you'll put a smile on my face. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.